Your life can change so much in just a few years. Seriously. So as you can see, I'm doing something very weird today. As I have a podcast mic in my car. It's like that influencers in the wild. Okay, but here's the thing. Name a better feeling than parked car combos. Like after the bestie hang where you guys went to dinner or whatever, and then you just sit in the car and you talk for hours. Or you reach your destination and you just don't get out the car for hours. No better combo, no better feeling. So yeah, have a parked car combo with me. Let's be besties. Every time. Never misses. In the spirit of thinking about how much you can change in a few years, I used to say I hated matcha. I just obviously didn't have the right combo, so don't knock it till you really find it, okay? And I have been a coffee girl like my whole life. No, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I think I would go to Panera with my mom in elementary school. Like, coffee has been my whole personality for a long time. So the fact that I really haven't been drinking coffee and just drinking matchas, I'm a new woman. I'm a new woman, damn it. And don't you forget it. Like, this is just so weird. I am weird, actually, so welcome. I was looking back on the last time I posted on this channel, and I genuinely am not the same person. That sounds really dramatic, but I honestly feel like a different person from 6 months ago. So years ago, it's kind of crazy. Your life can literally change so much in a few years. I think that's really hard to believe when you feel stuck. Life has been teaching me a lot lately that still is not necessarily stuck. Even when things don't feel like they're moving, they are. Somehow, all the pieces of your life, even the stillest parts, add up together into where you land, where you're gonna be, where you need to be. It all counts. Even when you feel like you're going nowhere, sometimes that's a gift. And that sounds crazy because it doesn't feel like it. But it really, really can be. I can see that for myself now in ways that I couldn't 4 or 5 years ago. There are some paths that you just don't know exist, that you couldn't possibly see. There's no way that I saw where I would be right now. There's just like no way. I think that goes for the really good, and that also goes for the really hard. You just can't predict life. As much as anxiety brain wants to tell you and remind you of all the possible awfulness ahead, it's important to remember that there's good ahead too that you just couldn't predict. It's so hard to see in certain seasons of your life what a gift it is to not know. That is embracing liminal space. Liminal space is basically the space in between. It is the space of uncertainty, of unknown. Literally the embodiment of transition. I do think in many ways I am in liminal space right now. And this is the first time in my life where I feel like I've allowed it and welcomed it and really understood the importance of allowing yourself to not know. Because so much can happen when you let yourself not know, when you let yourself not have to be one specific thing, but to become maybe something you didn't know you could ever be. Something I found that I didn't know existed ever was something called dance movement therapy. When I tell you, it is the most me thing I've ever done, the most aligned thing. I could talk about that forever, all the reasons why it is so aligned for me. And it's something that I didn't know was even a real thing, a real life path. I didn't even know it existed. And genuinely, if I wasn't in a season of my life where I was slowed down enough to wonder, I don't know if I would have found it for a lot of reasons. And I think about that sometimes, where in life, you're on a path. You see path A, path B. You're walking. They seem hella far. You're like, how am I ever going to get there? Like, how? This is not working. Where am I going? I don't understand. And then out of nowhere, a golden door appears and you're like, there's a path C. Where did path C come from? And I just think that is something to never forget. There are some things you just don't know and you can't know, and you really just have to live beyond what's in front of you and what you see. You have to live beyond what you feel like you should be, what you should do, who you should be, where you should be going, the timeline that you should be on. And you really have to release that to allow better and more to enter your life. To a degree, when you really think about it, we are limited to our level of understanding. We're limited to the information we had at the time. We're limited to our environment a little bit. We're limited to our culture a little bit. A lot of what we feel like we should be doing and who we should be is coming from what's telling us around us we should do and be. Like, if I lived in another country, I might feel entirely different about what I should do and be. When you think about that, you realize that it's very limited. And so because we're a little limited, it's such an ego trip to think. It's such an ego trip to think you should somehow have all the answers. You should somehow be able to figure it all out and know everything in front of you. You couldn't possibly conjure up everything in front of you because you couldn't possibly know what you don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. There's so much you can't see. So much. It's important to hold on to how limited we are, because then it helps you feel less bad about yourself when you don't know. When you're in unknown, when you're in uncertainty, it's like, whoa, maybe this is a really good thing because I'm allowing myself to be open to something more than I know. I don't know is not bad. It's okay to not know. Sometimes not knowing opens the door to what you've never known. Like, you're going to the next level. You're going beyond your current space, your current plane of existence, your current level. Leveling up. We're leveling up, babe. I think every time we try to reach a noun, a place, a thing, an unmoving place or person or thing, we're always startled by life and ourselves being a verb. It's always moving. It's always in action. I think the only thing that is that stagnant and stuck is an inanimate object. That's why we can't freeze time. We can't freeze people. We can't freeze places because they are living and breathing and alive. And so because of that, every time we try to arrive, I feel like you're just reminded of the frustration of not being able to hold on to one place. But again, if you can embrace that life will never be this fixed, unmoving thing. When you can't see when and how change is going to come, it still will. And it can in the very best ways. The very best ways! It really can. It really can, and it really does. And it really will if you allow it to. Sometimes the sweetest thing you could offer yourself is the permission to slow down. Slow down and allow yourself to just be where you are and to be open to what that is and where that is. Because who knows where that will take you? Because if you allow it to, it will take you somewhere more, somewhere new, somewhere beyond your now. And I think it's really hard to notice that when you are in the liminal space, which when you're in the space in between, you're not where you were, but you're also not where you want to be. It's hard to really see anything but where you want to be and how you're not there yet. And I think it could be really such a game changer for yourself to slow down enough to actually stop and pause and look back. When you allow yourself to slow down enough and you look back, you can be genuinely like, holy shit, I didn't even notice how far I've come from where I was, how far I've come from who I once was. Acceptance has helped me really understand the value in my present. It's let me be where my feet are and start to get into alignment with life. So instead of wrestling against life, I feel like acceptance has helped me fall into alignment with the creative force around me. And that's actually something that has changed my whole view of God. When I've allowed myself to start seeing God as creator, it's helped me see God as creative. Understanding more and more that sometimes where God is leading me or guiding me is just so much more creative than where my mind can currently possibly fathom. It's almost like trusting, like when there's an artist that you really love and you just can't quite see the vision yet, but you trust them as an artist. So you're like, wow, whatever happens, I know, I don't see where you're going, but I know it's going to turn out really beautifully and it's going to be some amazing masterpiece work of art. I think that's God to me, is really trusting him with the art of my life, trusting him as this Picasso in his own right, and trusting that wherever I land is going to be good. His thoughts are higher than your thoughts and his ways are higher than your ways. And that's got me through some rough times. Rough. Rough. Okay. I think moral of the story is just a reminder, if you're in a weird space, you're not alone in that weird space, and there's unpredictable good ahead for you. There are unforeseen paths that maybe include your very best days. There are versions of yourself you haven't met yet, people you haven't met yet, things you didn't know possible, places you didn't know existed, food you haven't tasted. I mean, there's just so much good that is more than you've ever known, and I hope that can be a little bit of light in whatever space of life you're in. I'll say it again for the people in the back and at the end of the video, your life can change so much. Your life can change so much in a few years. Don't forget it. There's so much ahead that you can't see. Don't give up. Don't stop going. Don't stop believing. Yeah. The sun's gone down and I've ran out of things to say, so I think that's where this video ends. It's been fun, y'all. All jokes aside, don't forget to like and subscribe. But I'm not a rapper. This will actually probably be my 5th matcha this week. And I'm not mad at it because I have free will and I wanna. So. And what about it?